Now I request Dr. Chandramukhi, our senior postgraduate, to introduce the speaker, Dr. W.M.S. Johnson, sir, for the M.M. Cooper oration.
Thank you, doctors. Good morning, everyone. Anatomy, like grammar to language, is the bedrock of medicine. As medical education undergoes a profound transformation driven by technology and artificial intelligence, we are witnessing a shift from traditional to more dynamic and personalized learning experiences. It is essential to understand AI's impact on medical education and its potential to reshape how we train the future healthcare professionals. To enlighten us on this outlook, we have Dr. W.M.S. Johnson, sir, Professor of Anatomy, Sri Lalitambikai Medical College and Hospital, Chennai. I'm delighted to introduce sir to deliver this year's Dr. M.M. Cooper oration. Dr. Johnson's career is a testament to his dedication towards learning and service. Sir is an undergraduate alumnus from Government Tanjore Medical College. He went on to pursue Diploma in Industrial Hygiene at Annamalai University. Sir held the office of Medical Superintendent at CSI Mission Hospital, Kanchipuram, contributing to healthcare management. Dr. Johnson continued his academic journey and obtained MD in Anatomy from Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education and Research. His quest for knowledge did not end there. He sought his PhD in Anatomy from Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. Sir advanced from Assistant Professor to Vice Principal and then the Dean of Medical Sciences at Sri Balaji Medical College. His illustrious career included holding office of the Joint Secretary of the Association of Anatomists Tamil Nadu, NAC Coordinator and NSS Program Officer, Sri Balaji Medical College, National Advisory Board Member for several journals, Dean of Admissions and Director IQAC Cell at Bharat University, President of the Society of Clinical Anatomists and the Association of Anatomists Tamil Nadu. Sir has numerous national and international publications to his credit. We are honored to have you, sir, to deliver the prestigious Dr. M.M. Cooper oration to SRM ANATCON 2024. Welcome, sir.
Presentation. என்னுடைய presentation. ஆமா. எனக்கு அந்த presentation check. இதுல சார். ஆமா. இது இல்ல. ஒரு நிமிஷம். இது சார். Slide show. இந்த PDF slide show ல Sure. Thank you for the gracious words of introduction. Good morning, everybody. I'm privileged to be here this morning delivering the prestigious Dr. M.M. Cooper Award. Before starting my oration, it's a customary honor to pay tribute to late Professor M.M. Cooper, a teacher of teachers, I would say, because some of the faculty here, the senior members, would have attended his classes. Professor Cooper was a very renowned professor in the Madras Medical College. His name is associated with the Red Fort, the Department of Anatomy of Madras Medical College. He had a career spanning for more than 50 years, and he is pretty known for his drawing skills, the embryology classes he has taken. I've heard people say he used to draw with both the hands, and his lecture notes are still treasured by the former Vice Chancellor of the MGR University, Dr. Sudha Seshan. So in his memory, the family of M.M. Cooper and the Association of Anatomists have come together to have the oration in his name at the beginning of the annual conferences. So here I am, chosen by the association and the members of the Cooper Trust to deliver M.M. Cooper oration for the year 2024. At the outset, I thank the members of the association, office bearers, and also the Cooper family for giving me the honor to deliver the Cooper oration for 2024. Well, the topic I have chosen for this oration is Redefined Landscape of Medical Education, a Paradigm Shift. Is AI a game changer? Now we are seeing the different landscapes of this great nation. And on one side, you see almost a barren land, the dry district of Ramnad. And on the other side, we are seeing the mountainous landscape of northeastern state Arunachal Pradesh. So like this, the medical education also had a landscape. The policymakers, in their own sane understanding, they change this, and there is a totally shift in the curriculum for MBBS and also the postgraduate medical students. At the outset, I just want to emphasize that I'm not a proficient person in artificial intelligence, nor even in anatomy. I've got my own limitations. The moment we decided that artificial intelligence will be the key topic in the conference, I started attending few programs. I attended one program in Mahatma Gandhi, Pondicherry. I got to get introduced to the speakers there, their books, and then I learned some books through which I have gained some confidence in artificial intelligence. I hope I will be able to do some justice in my presentation. As introduced, I am Dr. Johnson, Professor of Anatomy at Sri Lalita Ambigai Medical College. Until recently, I was the Dean of Sri Balaji Medical College, which hosted the last year conference, by which I am the president of the association now. Looking back the history of medical education in this country, in the 16th century, the Portuguese and the British, they brought in their fleet of ship, few medical people, basically to cater to the physical needs, the health needs of the people at that point of time. Slowly in 1775, the boards were formed in the three provinces of Bengal, Madras, and Bombay. In 1822, a native medical school was established in Calcutta, which is in the hot topic now. And this was a very short-lived institution. The initial students were about 20 were trained, and the subjects, books were translated from English to the native languages, including our own anatomy, materia medica, and like that. In 1826, in Bombay, a medical institution was started. Again, it was short-lived for 6 years. The medical superintendent was McLennan, and the Indian medical practitioners were trained in Bombay to cater to the needs of the local population there. In 1835, the medical school in Madras was established, and different levels of training were given, 2 years training, 3 years, and 4 years. Depending upon the level of training, the people who got trained were placed to assist the British doctors. And this is the Portuguese established Goa Medical College. Then the Madras Medical College in 1875, it opened its doors for the women to be trained as doctors. In 1916, in Delhi, Lady Hardinge Medical College was established exclusively to train women doctors. And on the sidelines, Kilpak Medical College in our own Chennai trained only the ladies in their college first, and subsequently it became co-educational. So when the country obtained independence, there were a lot of challenges in the medical education field. After the independence, there is a steep rise in the number of medical colleges. There is a asymmetric increase in the number of medical colleges. The selection criteria of the students into the medical colleges were very different, variable at different point of time in different parts of the country. There was no standardized, there was no uniform selection procedure. And the focus was on theoretical knowledge. Of course, the clinical acumen was there, and a lot of emphasis was given on the basic medical sciences. There was a decline in the quality of medical education in the sense the clinicians were good clinicians, but they were very poor as educators. They never had a formal training in teaching methodology as we have these days. And the laboratory facilities were very limited. They were not advanced like these days. And no emphasis was placed on preventive health care. and there was no exposure for the primary health care. This was in the initial beginning after the country obtained independence, and the curriculum did not change much till 1998. The medical education was at the crossroads when the government constituted the Srivatsava Committee in the 70s and the Bajaj Committee in the 80s. They were to bring some suggestions to reform the medical education according to the society needs, what the community requires. Then what happened in 1998, the duration, as we all know, the duration of the first year was reduced from 18 months to 12 months. And what happened? Initially, there were 2 semesters in the first year. If somebody fails in the first semester, they can catch up and clear in the second semester, and they can maintain the batch. But what happened after reduction of 1 year, the students straight out of the school, they come to the college, and if they fail in the first semester, that is in the first year, they go to the royal batch. So this was going on. And in the second year, the forensic medicine was brought from third year to the second year. Community medicine was started from first year onwards. These were some of the reforms happening between 98 to 2019. And one important good thing about this reform was some importance was given to the internal assessments. So come 2019, the curriculum was revised. The competency-based medical education was introduced, and this was purely outcome-based, based on the specific learning objectives and the competencies. The students are to be trained and they are to be assessed according to their skills. The certifiable skills are there in different subjects in different phases. Now, the concept of integration was stressed upon, horizontal integration and vertical integration, which means the students will be better exposed to any particular conditions. For example, if we take hypertension, he will learn all about hypertension cutting across the disciplines. And elective courses are introduced. Also, the students are required to do some small time research projects. The curriculum is gender sensitive. The competency-based medical education is of late being ridiculed as comedy-based medical education, because NMC is rolling out one curriculum. Within 24 hours, it is withdrawing. In another 72 hours, we have another document. In less than a week, we have 466 pages of 2 documents. And why this happened? Some of you who would have been following the news would have seen that there were some objections in the forensic medicine subject, for which some community were raising objections. So this curriculum is gender sensitive. It takes care of every other population in the community. It is inclusive and it is environment appropriate. And finally, the students have to be thorough with the global trends and they have to match the global standard, because the Indian medical graduates are trained to face any situation across the globe. So what are the challenges faced by CBME? Initially, when rolling out itself, it was a big challenge because it was at a very wrong time. The pandemic was there. So the implementation of CBME was very, very difficult for all the stakeholders, for the administrators, for the faculty and the students alike. The first challenge I would consider in implementation of CBME is the inertia of the faculty. There is some reluctance for change. The faculty continue to consider themselves as a sage on stage rather than being a guide by the side. They don't act like a facilitators. There is a lack of training among the teaching faculty. Though CISP 1, CISP 2, CISP 3 all are happening, still a majority of the faculty are not properly trained in the competency-based medical education. There is a higher student to faculty ratio. This is a very difficult, because we are not considering I'm not considering the tutors, because qualified teachers to the student I mean here. So this is a serious challenge for the competency-based medical education. There is lack of commitment among the various stakeholders, as I was mentioning earlier, though the difficulties were there when the pandemic was there, but now slowly we have to come out of all these things. And the faculty still want the students to simply sit in the classroom without asking any doubts, without any interaction. They just want to be emotionless, motivation free recipient of stimuli. And the students are scared to interact with the faculty. There is some amount of inhibition still, and this scenario should change. We should pave way for cooperative learning. The faculty have to be facilitators, and this is a very serious challenge to be overcome. There is inadequate infrastructure in many places, especially when we talk about small group discussions. These infrastructural difficulties are coming in place, and small group discussions, and especially conducting assessments for small group, it is a problem related to infrastructure and lack of time. We all know that already the 18 months course is crushed to 1 year. Now this 1 year includes 2 weeks of foundation course and also the university exam schedule. So there is a paucity of time. So why we need to change? We saw that the curriculum has changed to some extent or a larger extent, and why we should change, what is the need? First of all, we should understand that it is a student-based curriculum, outcome-based, and this is obviously more effective than the curriculum which was in place. Again and again, this is a student-based program, whereas the student is the basic unit and his learning outcome is the priority, and learning outcome is designed according to the societal needs or what the community requires, into which this graduate is going to serve. The CBME curriculum is completely a paradigm shift designed on the needs of the society. The learning outcomes are tailored to the needs of the society, and there is an integrated teaching, as I told a couple of slides before. If the student is learning hypertension, he will not learn one thing in the first year, another thing in the second year. He will learn everything as a one unit. Then how are we going to change? We have to be facilitators for the students. We have to facilitate their learning process. How we will do that? The small group teaching, very, very effective compared to the large group teaching or the didactic lectures. And we need to encourage and keep in place the self-directed learning. All the students who are coming to the medical college now are adult learners. Previously, before that introduction of NEET, the students were coming at age 17 or maximum 18. Now they are taking up 2-3 attempts to clear NEET, and they, by the time they enter the medical college itself, they are about 20-21 years. Almost the time when we graduated and came out of the college, only these students are entering. So they are all adult learners. We have to treat them as adult learners. Self-directed learning has to be imparted, it has to be guided, and the cooperative learning has to be in place. No more didactic lectures will help, and this kind of notes taking will help to some extent, but it has to change. For which the faculty, we have to plan much ahead of our schedule, and then we have to keep the students engaged all through our classes, and we have to encourage them to be interactive. We should allow them to ask questions, clear their doubts in any of the concepts we are explaining. And one more important aspect of the competency-based medical education is giving feedback, which was not there in the medical colleges when we all studied, except at random. We will have some feedback from our faculty. Now this feedback has to be timely, formative, it has to be there throughout the year, and it has to be a constructive feedback, balanced one, specific, goal-oriented. In short, it has to be a sandwich feedback given over a period of time. Now, we are moving on to the interesting topic. Now we have seen that the curriculum has changed. in the CBME pattern, and we need to change as facilitators. Now, everyone is aware of artificial intelligence. Is artificial intelligence a game changer in the changed scenario? Everyone is talking about AI these days. And what is AI? In yesterday's Hindu editorial, there was an article about the artificial intelligence in healthcare. If you have gone through the article, you would have seen how the artificial intelligence is helpful or otherwise in delivering the healthcare, and how it can be complementary for the medical education, how the narrow intelligence of the artificial intelligence can help in predicting the laundry needs, the kitchen supply of a big hospital, big or small hospital. So everyone is talking about AI, not just in healthcare, in every walk of life. So what is artificial intelligence? It is nothing but the computer doing some task, probably a repetitive task, and coming out with some output. That is basically the artificial intelligence, for which it acts like a cognitive function of the brain, a data analysis, and giving out an output. Well, whether artificial intelligence is everything? No. It has got its own limitations. Sometimes if you give a prompt, it gives illogical or totally not connected output as a response, what is called as hallucination. Something like what the students do in our classes, sitting in the classrooms, right? Now, we all have a fear that artificial intelligence will drive us one day out of job. This is the problem in the minds of everyone, not just in the medical field, but in every field there is an apprehension whether this technology is going to see us out of job. Humankind, when it evolved, when they got civilized, at some point of time they have been inventing. It is a quest in the mind always. The early man, he invented harpoons for hunting. Then the farming came, for which he devised instruments like the pickaxe. And the main thing is, slowly the man started to create tools, what resulted in the industrial revolution. When industrial revolution came also, people were worried whether the manpower will be they will be taken out and all the work will be done by the machines. Nothing of that sort ever happened. And imagination has there in the mind of the man at all times. Some of the people here, the senior members, can relate why I have put Shivaji Ganesan's picture there. In a movie called Pavamanipu, there used to be a song. Looking at the birds, the man invented aeroplane. The Wright brothers, they invented the aeroplane. So like that, artificial intelligence is also invented. What exactly is artificial intelligence? I told you it is the computer doing some repetitive task and giving us some output. We all know these gadgets which are seen in the screen, the calculator, the computer, and then the smartphones. Initially, the computers, the machines, they are not intelligent. The artificial intelligence doesn't make it intelligent anyway. And once the computers were designed, they were essentially big calculators, that's all. They were dealing with sums, they were doing big arithmetics, and slowly the computer started processing words. It progressed to recognition of images, and finally the sounds. Now we all give voice commands to the phone. Even the smartphones are nothing but a computer in our hand, right? Now we give voice command and it takes and it gives a text response or it acts according to our voice command. So that is the evolution of the operating systems of the computer. The smartphones and the computers, they listen to our voice, works on an algorithm, and some input is obtained, and then finally processing happens, then the output is delivered. So what is an algorithm? Because basically the artificial intelligence or the computers, they are working on the principles of algorithm. Algorithm in simple terms for explanation is nothing but like how a chef cooks the food. What is a recipe? The recipe for a food, there is a step-by-step instruction. Take this much amount of this much amount of this, and do this and that like that. It gives a step-by-step instruction. So algorithm is also nothing but a step-by-step instruction for the computer written by a human being. Charles Babbage in 19th century, he devised an analytical engine which was able to follow and do all the algorithm. Like we say, Vesalius is the father of anatomy. We also have a father for the artificial intelligence, Alan Turing. This man, he believed that all algorithms can be done by the computers. It can follow any algorithm, and he is considered as father of the artificial intelligence. The AI program does apply an algorithm written by a human being to give responses that appear to be intelligent and they are not intelligent as such. It appears to be intelligent, and different algorithms are there in place, but they have got one common agenda. It is to improve upon the processing capacity of the computer and overcome all the limitations therein. Now, is AI really intelligent? What is intelligence? Is it something opposite of ignorance? Intelligence is nothing but the capacity to understand, perceive things, comprehend meaning. All those things are the intelligence. Now, what are you seeing here? You are seeing two pictures almost of the same building in different angles. This is an old citadel. This is the city of Istanbul. Supposing if I am asking the audience here, when was the city of Istanbul founded? Without looking at your phone, without Googling, you will not be able to tell me right now, right here. Okay. But if I go and check in Wikipedia, it will give me it was founded in the year 743 before Christian era. So what does it mean? We are all not intelligent, or the Wikipedia is intelligent? No, it's not so. Same way, if we are going to do a complicated math, supposing if I am going to ask you to multiply a big number by another big number, still you will be able to do. All of you will be able to do. Only thing is you will take some time. Individual person to individual person, the time will vary, but at the end of the few minutes, you will be ready with the answer. But what if I just click in the calculator? It will give me in a fraction of a second. So, is calculator more intelligent than us? No. So, what is this intelligence? Computers, they just deal with some task and memory. They are not intelligent by the human standards in any way. We humans, we decide based on our past experiences. We have a decision-making skill, and also we learn new skills. We'll be able to impart the new skill to the other person. We have ideas, we can communicate the abstract ideas to other person. Creating AI, by doing that, we are not creating another artificial human being. We are not creating another Chitti in Endiran. And something like asking a submarine if it can swim. It is like the machines, whether they can think. We think AI is intelligent, but it is not, definitely not as we humans are. So how does artificial intelligence help? So some of us well versed with SRM would have driven straight to SRM. Others coming here for the first time, you would have tried using the map. The Google map or whatever map in the online will help you to some extent. Sometimes it can take you to a wrong location also. But anyway, it serves the purpose. It may not be the best thing in the whole world, but it serves the purpose. It helps you to get the work done. So this is how the artificial intelligence helps. So where is the artificial intelligence heading to? There are two artificial intelligence. I'm not going to give every technical details. There is a strong artificial intelligence which almost works like the human brain, and there is a weak artificial intelligence which serves a small purpose. The general, the strong AI again in turn has two components: the general artificial intelligence, which is capable of solving many problems, and artificial consciousness. What is this artificial consciousness? This is what makes the machine get aware of itself as a machine. You talk to Alexa. Sometimes if the kid goes and gives instruction to the Alexa, Alexa knows that it is a machine, it has its limitation, it will tell that it is not able to do that, right? Is machine conscious? Will it become conscious at any point of time? Who knows? Sometime it may happen. AI is completely changing the world. Machines are very impressive and the rate of progress is very, very rapid. Every day technology advancement is improving. And it's very difficult to say what will come next. We all know that there are three domains in every aspect of our life. In actual biological life, we have archaea, bacteria, eukarya, and like that in the medical education field, all are well versed with the three domains: the cognitive domain, the psychomotor domain, and the affective domain. By analyzing all these things, we try to help the students, being the facilitators. Like that, the artificial intelligence also has three domains: the logistic, the statistical, and embodied intelligence. We should analyze how these domains can be used to implement the medical education for the benefit of the students. Now, we will see how the artificial intelligence can be useful to medical education. I see a lot of medical education coordinators and resource persons from very many medical colleges here. So, artificial intelligence can be helpful in analyzing the gap. It can do the gap analysis, and it can help to design the curriculum. In curriculum development, the AI can be useful. We all know that the NMC is now insisting on the role of the curriculum committee in the medical colleges. And at the end of the year, AI can be used to do the curriculum analysis, how much we have achieved, how much we have not achieved. And it helps to make the learning and the assessment easier and more effective. It enhances student engagement. That is the purpose of competency-based medical education. It enhances students' participation. And it helps the faculty in the teaching process. All our teaching methodology can change. And another main area where the NMC is concentrating now is the students with the diverse needs. The students, low achievers, we can help them in positive way. So, are there not challenges in using AI in medical education? There are challenges because the faculty have to be trained in artificial intelligence, and the artificial intelligence as such should be incorporated in the medical curriculum. We should encourage the students to use the artificial intelligence. We should not shun them away. We should not treat them bad for using artificial intelligence. We should encourage them to use the artificial intelligence and use their creativity from what they have learned using these resources. Now, coming to anatomy, I'll go quick through here because it's a forum of anatomists. Anatomy is taught in the early part of the medical education. We are teaching the complex body to them fresh from schools. It's a volatile subject, and it is a serious challenge for the medical students in the fledgling years of their career. and it leads to a dwindling performance in the academic spiral. A guy who is a topper in the school, who has scored 600 plus in NEET, comes to the medical college and he fumbles with the short notes and an essay, because for 2-3 years he has been completely out of touch using a notebook, writing long answers. So that's a very big challenge when he enters the portals of the Department of Anatomy. But once the computer came into the picture, with a new era evolving, new curricula, new teaching learning methods coming, new ways of assessments, like we have the so much of clinical anatomy being taught to the students, computers are really helpful. All the senior people and my colleagues will agree that the long-term retention of anatomical knowledge is very essential for a successful career in medicine. And for that, there should be a logical learning for which the technological advancements like the 3D virtual tables are really helpful. We have in our own neighborhood college, Balaji Medical College, this picture is taken from. The cost is coming down. Actually, this is a positive thing. Enhanced availability and the decreasing cost is useful for the students to learn. They can learn layer by layer. They can rotate in different angles. As you can see here, we can split the images. On one side, the facilitator can be teaching. On the other side, the student can be learning. Not only the virtual tables, the VR and the AR, we all would have seen in the Ramachandra Medical College, the virtual and the augmented reality labs, how this is useful. The virtual reality and augmented reality, they are really a boon for the teachers in anatomy. Virtual is completely virtual, whereas the augmented reality is superimposing the virtual into a real life situation. It overlays on the real background. As I said, it is a very, very golden opportunity for us to teach the students. And what is the exact advantage of this AI in teaching anatomy? We can have more interaction with the students. It can be a participation by the students can be more. And it is also possible to explore the very complicated structures which we will not be able to teach with the cadaver, like multi-angle visualizations we can show. So advantages in AI in anatomy, we can summarize. It can help in in-depth learning by the students. It helps to make teaching from remote locations possible. Few personnels. At the moment, there is a paucity of the anatomy faculty, so we can take care of the shortage of the resource people, and we can give a quick feedback, instant feedback. Like if you are driving a car, if you see the dashboard, you also see the average mileage, but nobody is bothered about the average mileage anymore. We want to see the instant mileage, what is happening right now. The present generation is also interested only in the instant feedback. They are not bothered about what has happened a month or even a week back. And it is offering a user-friendly alternatives. So what is the disadvantage, or how we cannot for sure say that AI in anatomy is all the very good thing that has happened? There is still a paucity of data in the journals about the effectiveness of using the AI in medical education. So there is some still randomized control trials have not come. So we cannot for sure say, but definitely it is there. So this artificial neural network and the more complicated convoluted neural networks, they can be used to teach anatomy. We can have modules created based on these technical things. And as I was telling earlier, the difficult structures to be taught with the cadaver, we can make use of AI to teach them the neural pathways, the ascending and the descending pathways in the brain, in embryology, how the fetus develops to become an embryo, how the different systems are formed, and then the middle ear and the inner ear, which is very, very challenging. This can be taught very easily using AI to the students. Well, what happens to the cadaver then? Since the time of introduction of the Anatomy Act to the present times when the revisions have done, it holds good, and a dissection by the students is very much welcome. But there are disadvantages. It's very cost intensive and the chemicals are hazardous. One more thing is the present generation is used to the gadgets from the small children's stage. So they are very comfortable dealing with these gadgets. So mobile and other iPads, everything is they are comfortable to learn from. So we can make use of the digital anatomy. Of course, the cornerstone is dissection anyway. The methods of learning anatomy, we are here, teachers and students, postgraduates are there in large numbers. Anatomy can be learnt in many ways. Verbal, anatome means to cut. Like that, we need to cut each word and learn in anatomy. Auditory, with the response to the sounds and the speech. Visual, seeing. Physical, which is going through the motion. Interpersonal, exchange of ideas like in the small group discussions. Then there has to be some logical learning for long-term retention of anatomical knowledge. I told you this logical learning is coming through the problem-based learning and the clinical case-based scenarios we are giving to the students. And tactile, touching the subject, whether it is touching the cadaver or touching the screen of the gadget, it's all tactile learning. So these are the various methods how the anatomy is learned. Taking a break from anatomy, we will go back into the medical education. How AI transforms the medical education. First of all, AI helps in personalized learning. It is tailor-made for the individual student's needs and capacity. According to the capacity of the individual student, the artificial intelligence can be used to teach the students. The second best thing in artificial intelligence is AI-driven scenarios. Case scenarios can be very, very helpful for the students to learn the clinical anatomy without creating any disturbance to the patient. The students can hone their clinical skills very safely and then they can go on to deal with the patients. Now, the AI helps in intelligent tutoring system. As I was mentioning, right now there is a paucity of the resources for faculty in anatomy, but then this offers a platform to have an intelligent tutoring system and automatic assessments. I was going through the YouTube of a presenter where the students can learn how the USMLE, the questions are can be framed using AI and the responses, the correct answers can be found out. One very important thing I learned in looking at that YouTube is that it helps to make you understand where the students can go wrong. You all would have seen the recent document released by the NMC for the curriculum. The question pattern is given. All the MCQs have to be case-based scenarios because they want us to train them for the next. So we can get to know where the students can go wrong in such questions. So when we understand, when we learn where the students can go wrong, we can do a kind of an interventional study and teach the students, and we can tell them this is the place where you can go wrong, something like a differential diagnosis. You can suggest them these are the places where you would fall. You have to be careful. So automatic assessments are possible. There is a huge data available. The secondary data can be retrieved and it can be used for the research purposes. The students have to do a small time research during their MBBS period. And as I was mentioning repeatedly, it enhances the students' interaction, participation, which is the very basic requirement in the CBME curriculum. Virtual mentorship. Again, leadership is quality has to be developed when the students are there in the college, and it gives an opportunity for virtual mentors to train the students. And continuous learning. Medical profession is one thing where we need to learn every day, and AI is definitely a platform where we can all learn each and every moment. Now, we all know about the ChatGPT. So what are all the other artificial intelligence tools available? So I found few of the things. Find in the Meta Llama, then the Google Bard, Microsoft Bing are there. And we also have ErnieBot. I request all the postgraduates here to go and find out what all these tools are about and help your students in the classes. And What are the features, capabilities, and application? It helps in the conversational interface. It helps to have a chatbot like an experience. Then information retrieval, I told you there's a large amount of data which is available. Artificial intelligence is nothing but retrieving the data and giving us an output. And question answering, whatever questions, doubts we have, anything under the sun we ask, it is able to give us. Of course, we have to reason out and then find out whether it is absolutely true or not before taking it to the students. Then text generation, we all know what we are using. Summarization, if you give a big article, it gives an abstract so that it helps to in precise writing. Then it is useful in language translation. We are preparing the Indian medical graduates for the global scenario, so the language translation is useful. Sentiment analysis. This was very interesting to see. If you give a piece of a written article, it helps you to analyze in which mood or what emotion the person has written it. If we are able to feed them of the students' articles into writings into this, we'll be able to analyze their mood swings, emotions, and we can offer counseling. Once again, NMC is giving a thrust on the mentor-mentee program. So these things will be definitely be useful for all of us. And any named entity, it will pick up in no time. Now, whether the artificial intelligence is only about text generation, only about getting us some quick responses, no. Anatomy is nothing but diagram. You all will agree. We all have been teaching the students to draw as many diagrams as possible. To learn also, the diagrams are very, very useful. AI is helping us to draw very professional diagrams. I have listed out 4 tools here. The Lucidchart, Microsoft Visio, OmniGraphil, and the Graphis, the tree diagrams, and so many possibilities are there. All of them are available free in online. So I encourage all the faculty and the students to make use of these tools which are available free online. And one more thing is the retrieval augmented generator. This is nothing but combining 2 AI capabilities into one. On one side, the retrieval of the data, and another side, it is the generator of the whatever input it has obtained. So again, it is useful in answering complex questions, generating text, creating chatbots, and enhancing language translation. All these things can be made use of in the artificial intelligence. And I'm going to wind up in few minutes. Our aim is not to bring out anatomists. We are not producing anatomists or we are not producing physiologists. We are producing Indian medical graduates who is going to be a physician of first contact. And he has to have he has to offer a better patient care, for which there should be better improved learning outcome, increased efficiency, the skill level has to go up, the competencies have to be developed, and for that, we know all these attributes. He has to be a lifelong learner, effective communicator, a leader, a professional, a critical thinker, clinician, researcher, so much and so forth. So each of these attributes of an Indian medical graduates we'll see, and then we'll wind up. The lifelong learning, I told medical profession is one profession which requires a lifelong learning, for which there should be a personalized learning, adaptive learning has to be there. Every day we have to engage, we have to keep on learning new things, and content update has to be there. Simulation-based training, as I was mentioning about the clinical skills. So for all these lifelong learning experiences, these are the tools available in the artificial intelligence domain. We have so much of material, resources available to have a lifelong learning experience. The next attribute is effective communicator. The students have to communicate with the patients. The patient interaction starts from first year in the early clinical exposure. They have to break bad news to the relatives. All these things are now taught. What was not taught when we were all in medical school, now it is taught in the ADCOM module, and the students have to be effective communicators. Language processing, emotional intelligence, and patient engagement are all the components to make the students an effective communicator. For all these things, the following tools in the artificial intelligence can help us to train them. for the students to learn by themselves. It's all about self-directed learning. So you should introduce all these tools to the students to make them effective communicator. The student also has to be a team leader in whatever situation he may be there, for which he will have to have so much of data. He should be able to predict what will come next, how to handle the situation. So for all these things, so much of resources are available, and we should introduce these to the students to train them to be good leaders in the future. The other attributes, a critical thinker, so much of things are again available. We have to go one by one, learn by yourself, see what is there, and then we should make the best use of all these things available free for us. Empathy and compassion, adaptability, professionalism, collaboration. All these things are required of an Indian medical graduate, and these are all the tools available for them to become an effective Indian medical graduate. Now, whether artificial intelligence is only helping the anatomy or the medical education administration, no, it is helping in every other field. We are all aware in radiology, in oncology, cardiology, dermatology, pathology, name any branch of medicine, artificial intelligence is already there. So common to all these disciplines, what is the one thing in common for the artificial intelligence in all these branches? It helps to make an early diagnosis, maybe to identify a tailor-made management program, to predict the outcome in the patient. For example, in pharmacology, it can help us in drug identification, or in oncology, the biomarkers, how we can manage the chemotherapy and things like that. So like that, in pathology, it helps us to make a diagnosis of histopathology slides of the rare conditions it can pick up. So artificial intelligence is going to help, is already helping in all the branches of medicine. So AI is the future, and the future is not somewhere beyond, it's going to come. The future is already now here. I wish to thank all my people who have contributed to what I am today. Once a humble student of Tanjavur Medical College, did my post-graduation in Ramachandra. All my life career was shaped in Balaji Medical College. I am really privileged to see and deliver the lecture here in front of my teachers. Dr. Felshia was my teacher in first year MBBS. Most of the faculty in Ramachandra, and my colleagues in Balaji. AI is the friend, it's not a foe. We should not think it of as a foe. We should encourage the students to use artificial intelligence, and we should not shy away from people using it. Keep calm, reboot yourself, and get ready for the AI revolution. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Respected Chief Guest of the day, administrators from SRM University, Organizing Secretary, office bearers and other members of the Association of Anatomists Tamil Nadu, the stalwarts of anatomy adorning the front few rows of the August gathering, invited guests, members of the press, students and dear friends. It gives me great pleasure to be here this morning again to deliver the presidential address in the 45th conference of the Association of Anatomists Tamil Nadu. Looking back, year 2000, when I joined MD Anatomy in Sri Ramachandra, just 15 days into the course, I never knew what a postgraduate program is, what PG is all about. Melanie Madam called me to her room and told there is a conference coming up in Tanjavur in the next few days. Just 2-3 weeks into the MD program, I accompanied her to Tanjavur, where the present General Secretary, Professor Chendal Kumar, he introduced me to a very young man in the portal of Hotel Orient Towers in Tanjavur. That was none other than the organizing secretary today, Professor Sundara Pandian. Time has gone so much and so forth. 24 years gone by, and all my life and career has been shaped by all these people sitting in the front. And I'm truly privileged to deliver the oration in front of my PG examiner, Professor Sudharao. And one of the advices given by an eminent professor, Professor Balasubramaniam, those days in St. John's, Bangalore, he told me, Johnson, PG is not just studying the book, spending your time in the dissection hall. He gave me a wonderful piece of advice to attend each and every conference which was possible, each and every academic event, be it a CME program or a workshop. So I took his words very seriously, and as a postgraduate student and as an young faculty in Balaji Medical College in 2003-06, those days, I have attended all the CME programs that was possible, attended each and every conference, and believe me, my career was shaped because of attending conferences, because these are the places where you meet people and you interact a lot and then you learn a lot. So this is a period when, after a period of lull in the postgraduate courses in the pre-paraclinical streams, now there are a lot of postgraduates coming up in all these branches. I see a lot of postgraduates here. So this is an opportunity and a platform for you people to learn, attend all the sessions, whatever is possible, meet people, get to know each other, and enrich your knowledge. Not only artificial intelligence, you develop your natural intelligence also, and make better use of your postgraduate period. And I wish the organizing team a very grand success, and one of the best teams I have ever seen in organizing, truly systematic, and everything is professional. We are very happy that SRM has come forward to host this conference, and I hope all of you will spend 2 days of happiness here and stay blessed. Thank you.